Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you happen to be. I am Bazag, and this is Star Trek Reliant. I'll be your host for today, and I swear to you that we are professionals. So let's start with our first introduction for this evening, Chorog.
Remember, the bigger the barrel, the bigger the boom.
All right, and we've got DB coming up next.
Hi. I'm sorry, can I do that again? Can we do one more take, one more time from the top?
I will not go into that at all because that is behind the scenes drama. No, not drama, but let's just say we had some takes because of some minor technical problems because of me. Anyway, let's go with Garal next.
No. One take only. One take only. If it looks terrible, we're still gotta do it because we don't have the money to do any retakes.
And what about Kara?
Was it you who stole my secret supply of feminizing synth biogel? Your cock prints are all over it, my friend.
And lastly, but certainly not least, Captain, or at least of the Reliant, for now, Nick.
Where's my bowl of green M&Ms in my dressing room? I specifically asked for the green M&Ms. Those are the sexiest.
Okay, I forgot to check Nick's rider, so we'll have to fix that up in post next time. Thank you for joining. Last time on Star Trek Reliant, we had a bit of a problem. The tractor beam platforms around New Saw, Rick Tier's homeworld, have been having some problems, and, well, it seems that Mirror Ryk has been doing some dastardly things, yes, And the crew have come to explore and resolve the current situation. So currently, the communications systems for the platforms are down, but DB has installed a terminal using his laptop to gain direct access to the communications disk, and they have came across a signal being broadcast, a brief ping of a signal that is sending the code to Alpha Zeta 5. And after navigating through the various systems of one of the platforms, Chorog found another code, 9 Omega Omicron 3. So we are now figuring out what to do with any of that. Or was it the reverse? I can't remember.
No, I do distinctly remember Daniel found the 2 Alpha Zeta 5 code.
No, I distinctly remember it was the Omicron Omega code because that was the second code. It was also the one we ended with the, I don't know, they speak Greek. Because at that point we had to use Omega because there is no Roman letter for Omega.
I'm pretty sure the second one was found by Chorog.
Yeah, because
no, the first one was found by Chorog because
that's the first one was found by Chorog when he was going through the isolinear chips, and the one chip that was slightly ajar had that number prefix on it.
Oh, okay. I think I know where the confusion's coming from. We got the code from that signal all through the terminal that Daniel set up, and then Chorog said, "That's funny. That same identification is on a chip that's loose down here." And then through investigating that, we found the second code.
No, it's the reverse of that. The first thing Chorog did was go down into the computer systems and find the first code.
Anyway, those are the 2 codes we found. One from being being sent, and one from within the platform systems. We have 2 teams: Chorog, Daniel, Gural, and Kara on platform 1. And Rick sets a Marcus, Jackson's, and Faberry on platform number 2. So, we have 2 codes. Does anyone have any ideas what to do? Or should we roll some insight rolls?
Okay, well, when it comes to puzzles, I'm going to go ahead and admit out of character that I'm pretty dumb at this sort of things. So I'm definitely on the side of letting the dice try to help us.
I also agree. Let the dice help us. I too,
Yes.
dumbass.
Alright, so I will accept insight, command, science, or security.
Which team is this for, by the way, or both of them?
Everyone can do
Any.
it.
Kara has 1 success with a 16 and a 6.
You said insight, command, science.
Insight, command, science, or security.
All right.
I did a insight science for mine.
I did inside security.
Guess I'll use the command. Checkers is going to use command.
Wait, is Checkers? Oh, he is here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dang,
he's
if I-
on. He's on the pin message. He's here. No
Is
one's
it-
acknowledged him.
I guess Longshot would focus in robotics or space time apply. Maybe it's like a robot serial number.
No.
Okay.
What kind of stuff would
What-
apply? Just out of curiosity.
What about my focus on information hacking?
I will accept that. Anything to do with communications, ciphers, anything like that.
I have bureaucracy. Okay, no.
If you do actually, I might accept if you do have bureaucracy.
I have bureaucracy, space law, street smart, mining techniques and technology.
I will accept bureaucracy for this one.
All
Especially
right.
since you rolled with command.
So anyway, it looks like we're getting a whole lot of stuff here that... Okay, there we go. That's actually different. That's 3 successes. Up until then, everybody had 1 success except Charg, who had a success and a complication.
All right, with the checkers roll, who got the 3 successes. It's probably expecting. It's a simple ping, the message you're receiving. So it is very much like a attempt to synchronize and acknowledge. So basically, it's expecting the other code back. But you don't know what that response will trigger. However, it is also perhaps the only way that you may know what it's going to trigger.
I see. Checkers is going to turn to. I gotta see who's on the fucking team again. Give me a second. Checkers turns to Marcus and sets a. It would seem they want a code back. But we do not have the code. Or we have the code. It's expecting something, and it's going to do something when it has that something. But what if we gave it something else?
Would it be... sorry. I don't know why I stopped myself there. Okay. Would it be possible to create a digital machine version of the station systems and just let the code go through and see what happens on the simulation?
Well, I guess we could do that, Setsa says. I don't know, that sounds complicated.
And give me a reasoned science check, DB.
So at least getting that roll. So basically what you're suggesting is just run it on a virtual machine and see what happen?
That's about the size of it.
Essentially, yes.
Okay. I'm not as dumb as I look.
Yeah, I just forgot it was a virtual machine, not digital machine.
So you can send it directly from the terminal, and as the rest of the station is communication system is broken, it's not going to go through the rest of the system. So if you want to set up a virtual machine kind of thing on your terminal, you can do that so that it doesn't affect the station, affect your terminal.
Yes, Daniel gets back on the comms and he just says, if someone who's more familiar with the systems of this era would want to maybe put on a suit and come out here, that'd probably be a help. But I could probably manage on my own if I have to.
You'll have to manage on your own unless you want Grawl to help you, because there's no computer access personnel on this team. Sets is on the other satellite, so you'll have to do what you can.
All right, I guess I'll give him my best shot.
Okay,
Yeah.
just give me a reason science. Control science, actually. Change that.
Even better.
I do want to see Grawl in a spacesuit now.
Yeah, do we even have one that would fit him?
Probably.
Yeah, we would have to if he's on the ship.
But I meant with the away team.
That's a good question.
We'll just send it over.
I would imagine that it would be stocked on the shuttle before we came over, because why wouldn't you be prepared for that?
Yeah.
Also, I'm sure it's fine with the 2 successes. Actually, you know what? 2 successes is probably fine. I think I have a talent that could give me another die, but I got 2 successes. It's probably fine.
Yep. Well, the 2 successes is enough. You figure it out. You know enough about computers in your own time to not necessarily know the terminology, but this new modern technology is more user friendly, let's say. So you're able to do it without too much trouble, but you did learn quite a bit doing so. So you're now ready to send the code response back.
Alright, Daniel taps his comm badge and just says, "All right, I think I've got everything set up here. I'm about to send the code through on the simulation. Am I good to go? Approval or something, or?"
Oh, just do it.
Alright, and Daniel presses the send signal button.
Okay, so is this like simulating? Are you trying to simulate the effects of what would happen to the platform? Or are you actually sending it and sort of trying to separate the effects of what might come through later?
It's
I think what it is he has a model of the platform on his computer. So the model will do whatever the platform would do.
Okay.
Yeah, virtual machine of the platform, just simulating how the various systems would react to this code being allowed to go through to the rest of the station.
Okay, there doesn't seem to be any change to the system, to the platform at all.
Well, guys, good news and bad news. It would seem, assuming I may have built this thing right, it would seem that letting the code get through wouldn't cause anything to physically happen to any of the systems or machinery or anything. Unfortunately, that doesn't really let us get any closer to knowing what the point is. I'm assuming at this point it just is trying to get some kind of information, but doesn't really narrow it down at this point.
So you're saying this model you built didn't do anything when the code hit it?
Listen, it sounded like a good idea at the time. Now we know there won't be any catastrophic system failures launching everyone into space or something.
I was going to say, if you've built your model right, what'll happen is exactly nothing, so we actually won't learn anything, but no reason not to do it, I suppose.
I guess it's up to people higher up than me right now. Just, do we want to risk this person getting the info they're looking for, or I don't know.
Kara taps her comm badge. Hey, Captain O'Connor, have you been listening in?
Eli here. Yes, I have.
Well, there you go. You are the final word on what to do.
Right. What do you guys think is best?
I think we should just go ahead and do it, but I have a tendency to throw caution to the wind to get results.
Caution to the wind it is then. Let's lock on to whatever it's going to, the original signal, just in case, you know?
All right. DB, you heard the man. Pull your laptop out of there and just reconnect and refix all the communication systems. We're going to let whatever it is talk to us and see what happens.
All right. And Daniel unplugs the mobile console from the array and reconnects reconnects everything to the way it's supposed to be. It's odd. I mean, nothing ventured, I guess. And Daniel just allows the signal to go through.
All right, so there's the system, like, you just needed a sort of like restart for it to refresh and to work again. I think we may have dealt that, but you found determined that last time. So you trigger the system restart, and you notice anyone who's watching the console would notice that the signal comes in and gets a response back, and once again nothing happens to the station. So you're waiting for a few seconds for something to happen, and then there starts a system-wide broadcast as from somewhere in the system. It is Mirror Ryk. The Reliant picks it up, the ground picks it up, the platform number 1 picks it up. It is picked up by the comms for Team 2. But everyone gets this message, and it starts with, for too long the Federation has controlled, has taken from us without concern or without giving anything back. We have, and it's just sort of like continues start to frame the Federation as continually sucking New Saw dry of talent, of life, of culture, of pretty much every single aspect of Saw life is being subsumed by the Federation. It is definitely long enough that people can triangulate and pick up where it comes from.
Since Daniel's like at the comms array where the signal's being received from, I guess I'll give it a shot.
And while that is happening, I will say that as all this is going through, there's a ginormous roll from Kara of her eyes.
I think. Are you muted or?
I'm sorry. Just give me another control science check.
Okay. I think one of the talents I have, it's testing a theory, lets me add an extra d20 to a roll if I've succeeded on a roll with an associated technology using a science or engineering during this session.
Yep, that'll definitely count, so use a third die.
Huzzah.
Okay, that's 3 success.
Sorry, control science would be. I had to be at a 17, so yeah. It's 3 successes.
You don't have a focus for that, do you? Because you did get a 4 on that.
Communication stuff, nah. The closest I could think would be metalworking robotics or space-time for just the vague idea of machinery or signals traveling through space, but that would be a real big stretch for any of those.
Okay, so you do, with help from the Reliant, I will say that you're able to pull some computing resources from there, and you're able to basically lock down the coordinates of where this broadcast is coming from. It's coming from somewhere for another, like, say, 20 kilometers spinward through the asteroid shell. It's sort of right in the middle of the width of it.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure I quite understood what you meant by that. Is a signal coming from somewhere in the asteroid field or?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. Uh, I while Mirror Ryk is monologuing, Daniel sends the message through to his Daniel sends a message through to everyone on the team. He sends it through to the rest of his team in text form so as to not interrupt the speech, I guess.
All right. Anyone who is watching / listening, can you also give me a insight command check?
Insight command. So everyone that's watching, so even on the Reliant.
Bum 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 bum. Let me check my sheet to see if I can reroll that because that's pretty terrible.
You said
I was
insight
gonna I was gonna say, Kara, you specifically can have a third dice, so you can re-roll or roll an extra
Okay.
dice.
Interesting.
You said insight command, right? I'm just assuming so, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Kara has one success and one complication depending on whether or not you want to count that one.
First one is Eli. Next one's going to be Checkers.
Okay.
And I'm not sure what kind of focuses would apply here.
Anything about like understanding people, maybe hidden messages or anything like that.
Persuasion, would that be a thing?
No.
Okay, never mind.
It wouldn't matter for Checkers, but I'm not sure with Eli. I don't think anything matters for Eli. Oh well.
All right. So Checkers, Eli, and Faberi all pick up that there's something odd about the background. You're not exactly sure what it is, but you're just able to pick up that there is something's not meant to be there. Something just doesn't fit.
My character didn't get it. I'm waiting on someone else.
Faberi, I'm trying to remember which group she's with, but
She's in group 2.
Okay, Faberi communicates it to whoever's in group 2.
That would be Rick, Setsa, Marcus, Checkers, and herself.
Yeah, and Checkers got it too, and he was going to try to communicate. Sorry, my boyfriend was saying something to me. So I only got, like, the first half.
All right. Rick, could people do some... This will be an engineering check. I'm just trying to determine... Give me reason engineering for everyone.
Oh, hey, this is good for me.
Everyone?
Do we... I presume group... Rick sort of informs group 1 as well. No one in group 1 sort of figured it out, but Rick does pass that on. So everyone can do a reason engineering.
Kara has 2 successes because I have a positronic brain.
Eli figured it out on the Reliant, so he's going to... You said, reason?
Yes.
Reason.
Reason engineering, I'm going to use my talent of I'm a doctor, not an engineer, to use my medical instead of engineering. So, 15. And what focuses would apply?
You don't have any real ship focuses, would you?
No. Alright, just making sure.
I'm assuming integrating technology wouldn't fit.
Actually, I will accept integrating technology.
Okay, so that's 4 successes then for Daniel.
Alright, and Checkers. So, insight, engineering, 14. I'm rolling good tonight. Now that I said that, I've jinxed myself.
We're all kind of rolling good so far. Don't worry, I spread the jinx to the rest of the group.
Okay, so this was a difficulty 3 check. But Daniel did make it. So, Daniel, in amongst, there is like this, in the background, it's sort of like a series of shelves that have pieces of, various components, various broken parts. And you've seen sort of, various diagrams and schematics with things broken down. One of those items is Romulan. Belongs in specifically a Romulan singularity drive.
All right, I'm gonna say Daniel doesn't quite know what this is, but he has seen Romulan technology before, so he probably recognizes like the basics of what that looks like, and he knows this looks kind of weird. So he's gonna forward this. He's gonna zoom in, and like essentially send a screenshot to Rick with a question mark.
And Rick sort of just confirms that it's Romulan from the the singularity drive that all their ships use.
Kara just kind of stands around and just says, "So we're gonna cut off the communication, go get him. What are we doing?"
So can I get a reason command? What would be a remembrance check for Kara?
Insider reason.
Yeah. Give me one of those with command. I'll accept either.
3 successes for reason command because positronic brain.
Okay, so Kara, you do remember specifically that Rick has told you about the Romulans early when they moved to New Saw, trying to do some very similar things. You sort of put things together, and the Romulans might be using Mirror Ryk as a cat's paw here.
But yeah, similar to what? What did they do here?
In similar sort of like in terms of trying to turn the Saw people against the Federation by
Propaganda.
and making life difficult. And well, last time it was using various things that various different types of technology in an attempt to bombard the surface, but that was interfered with by the Federation ship that was there at the time. Where it's not a direct assault. It's more like propaganda, as you said.
Okay, Kara just opens up the channel and just says, Captain, this is all just starting to sound like one giant stupid propaganda stunt.
I am in agreement there.
We should probably still go get him, though.
Yeah.
Is anything about the location spark any memories? Any, like, ever... I don't know,
He's somewhere in the asteroid field. It's an asteroid field. What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
All right.
From what you do, it was asteroids themselves were weaponized, so there weren't any like platforms or torpedoes or any items of note from previously. It's whatever this is using something new.
If I was understanding DB correctly, he was asking about the location and if we remembered anything about that. And the location of Mirror Ryk is just an asteroid somewhere spinward in the circle.
As far as we know, but he's got Romulan stuff who says he doesn't have a cloak.
So Card just kind of says, all right, is there any way we can just reset these stations and then go get him, or do we need to go get him first?
Are we going to try and turn it off and on again?
Rick, you're the tech guy.
Well, I've already reset our tractor beam. We can just reset the communication system without any problems, so we can do that. Hang on, let me just... and he sort of sends a program to Chorog through the pad, the communication system for Chorog to run at tractor beam number 1, platform number 1, to reinitialize their tractor beam, get that right, and then they can just sort of all move on from there.
All right, well, Captain, you want us to go get him in the shuttles, or you want us back on the Reliant?
Let's get back on the Reliant. Let's make this a bit easier.
Aye, aye, sir. Chorog, as soon as you're finished running that program, meet us back up at the shuttle. It's time to, I don't know, go arrest somebody.
Copy that.
You know, I can't help but feel like this whole thing is just kind of stupid. She laughs to herself and just says, "This guy's just out here making a proclamation. It's kind of bullshit anyway."
You want me to rip his other arm off?
No, that might make it worse. Honestly, when we find the guy, I'm just figuring he'll probably spend a couple days in jail. Well, actually, no, he did already escape. Okay, well, they're probably going to tack on a sentence for this.
Program's done running.
All right, everybody back in the shuttle, and I'll get us back to the Reliant.
Yay.
DB, get indoors.
All right, I'm coming. And Daniel just kind of, walks back to the airlock. That's when he gets close, you hear the metal ka-thunk of him walking on the outside wall.
And Faberry's going to do the same thing on the other group.
You know, Kara shepherds group one into the shuttle and gets ready to take off, and she just says, really? The guy broke out of prison, did all this stuff, which is going to make his sentence even worse, and he did it he could have just sent out a holotape.
I don't know. At this point, Daniel's back inside the station. I don't know. I mean, from what I've heard about the mirror dimension, from what I've been told, maybe he's trying to, I don't know, start up a new empire from this planet. Maybe he's trying to make a statement and be dramatic about it. I don't know.
I don't know.
In other words, the guy's a drama queen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's felt like if he had a real axe to grind, he would have done something more direct.
I mean, if he's trying to win over an entire planet to his cause, I imagine he wouldn't want to be responsible for bad things happening to them. Probably just trying to show off that he can do all this obnoxious extra stuff without getting caught by the Federation.
I mean, Kara just lands the ship in the Reliant's hangar bay, and as she's opening the door, just says, "Yeah, but all he's really done is inconvenience the people of New Sor. And as far as delivering the message goes, he could have just done that anyway."
I mean, kind of like I said, it's probably just supposed to be a show of power. Like, he can do this. He's he is able to defy the Federation in such a bold, unnecessarily complex way that I mean, so far we haven't done anything about it. But if we didn't manage to find him, I guess maybe some people would have been impressed down on the planet.
To be honest, we still might not find him. There might be a bunch of horrible death traps in wherever we're going, so do keep that in mind.
And as they're talking, the other shuttle lands so that we get both the groups together again.
All right, everybody, to your stations. For me, that means the bridge.
Trog exits the shell and looks at our cars and says, "Don't threaten me with a good time."
Okay, just for that, if there are death traps down there, you go first.
See, this is why I like you.
Kara rolls her eyes again and heads to the bridge.
Daniel also rolls his eyes and heads back to engineering to try and hobble together some suit armor just in case, because he never really finished that project.
Trog follows him like, "What, can a guy look out for a good time?"
Your good time sounds like a bad time to most anyone else right now.
Where's your sense of adventure?
I don't know, maybe back in 2000, I'd need to check my backstory to know the right year to say, but just assume Daniel said a relevant year from before he left the past.
Alright, so everyone's back to their spaces. Daniel doesn't really have much time. It's not that far away. So you can do a little bit work, but it's not going to be anything meaningful. So what is going to happen? What are you guys doing? Sending an away team, scanning, what?
They're all back on the bridge now, right?
Yep.
Everyone who's
All
going
right.
to the bridge.
Well, I'm just assuming you're back at the bridge now. Alright, let me see. Run a metaphasic sweep to catch any cloaked vessels as long as long-range tachyon, just in case it's a different kind of cloak. We'll start off with that.
Setsa just bounces over to the science station and says, "Yay, science!"
All right.
Let's see. For a scan, what do you want Setsa to roll?
Just reason science, supported by sensor science from the ship.
Setsa has 3 successes.
Who wants to roll for the ship?
It could be 4, but I don't think any of her focuses apply. And I don't know how to roll for the ship, so someone else is going to have to do that.
I would, but I don't have the ship's sheet up. I'll just do a roll, and the Reliant is very sciencey and sensory, so... I'll just do 14, but an 8 is definitely a success anyway.
As that to say, it looks like actually our target number would be 9 plus 3 if it's sensors and science. So 12.
Yep. That, so 8 is definitely below both of those, so that is a 4. And you're able, first of all, you're able to pinpoint what the broadcast signal is coming from. It is a simple, small satellite. There isn't really big enough. It is something that was dumped that is just sort of broadcasting.
Okay. So Setsa pulls it up on screen and says, "Look, I found it. I don't think he's in there, though."
But as you continue to scan, you do see signs of a cloaked vessel. Hang on. You're seeing signs of a inefficient cloaked vessel. Something is wrong with the Romulan's cloaking. It's still cloaking, but it's not being as, let's just say, careful with its emissions.
Also, if anyone cares, there's a cloaked ship out there. It's about here. And Setsa just projects kind of a 3D map on the area and just kind of circles the general area where it is.
Alright. Set some torpedoes to lock onto their emission. I want a full spread when we're in range.
Larissa just kind of looks down at you like, "We're not going to try and talk first?"
I mean, I don't think he's going to be willing to talk. And this is just aim to disable, first of all, so we can't flee. Go for the engines.
Well, you're asking me to fire on a cloaked ship, sir. I can't really aim.
That's why it's going to lock onto the emissions. The emissions should be coming from engineering, if I'm correct, so it should disable their engines, probably the cloaking device.
Let me see that cloaking device.
Setsa just looks at him. "It's on the Romulan ship."
Let me look at those readings.
"Okay, here." And she just steps out of the way.
Definitely Romulan, but it's been badly mangled. Whoever installed it didn't know what they were doing. And it's easily trackable. Let me run my program.
We've gathered that much, but I'm going to fire upon it. Low yield on the torpedoes, then.
Okay, just what's the roll, I guess, for quantum torpedoes from Larissa?
Okay, so that is control security from Larissa and whatever weapons security is for the Reliant.
Hey, I don't think Larissa has a sheet, so I'm just going to make it up.
Charles quickly punches in static coordinates on the cloak vessel. Target here. They'll knock that cloak right out.
Let's see. Larissa's got 1 success, and weapons and security would be 11 on the Reliant.
Charog, since you're actually helping, you can do let's say a reason engineering check. Just 1 dice.
All right. So 1 success from Larissa, 1 success from the ship, and 1 success from Chorog.
That is the 3 that you needed. So, 1 torpedo spread sort of heads off to the ship and impacts it impacts something that you initially don't see, but then soon resolves into a Romulan warbird.
Out of curiosity, what type?
It is a Talis.
So it's a small one.
Yeah, the small first initial starter ships that you get in Star Trek Online for Romulans.
All right, they've been revealed. Hail them.
As you say that, you get a hail from the Romulan.
Yeah, Kara just goes ahead and puts it on screen since Eli's already calling for a hail.
I thought the Federation initiated discussions rather than firing their torpedoes.
Usually, but kind of harder to with terrorists.
Terrorists?
Yeah,
We have done no such thing to the people of New Saw.
You kind of did. This is, political violence. This is terrorism by definition.
The Romulan started laughing when suddenly
These are actually Romulans, not...
Yes.
Thought this... Okay, fuck. I thought this was actually Rick.
No, these are Romulans.
Okay, never mind. Scratch that. My fucking brain is not working tonight.
But suddenly, as whatever you say responses, the lighting goes red as additional consoles start to spark and explode within the bridge.
Their bridge or ours?
Their bridge.
Sucks to be them.
The bridge sort of like goes into a flurry of activity, trying to figure out what have you done?
Kara just kind of looks up and says, "Oh, we're playing this game."
I guess we are playing this game.
So you remember that whole kerfuffle over that planet where Jim Kirk and that Gorn captain got into it?
I do.
You remember how the Romulans started a big old fight between the, Gorn and the Federation?
My aunt told me about that, yeah.
Yeah, I think Mirror Ryk might be trying to do the opposite here.
And so while you're still sort of thing, you can see explosions start happening on the exterior of the warbird as a single escape pod jetsons out.
Tractor beam that escape pod.
Yes, sir.
Soon enough, as you see, sort of like just sort of panicking, one of the Romulans is sort of hitting the desk, but soon the hail fades as the Talis warbird starts to implode on itself.
More importantly, when Clarissa went to grab the control pod, she rolled no successes and a complication.
Quick, we have momentum. Re-roll it.
So Larissa is unable to lock on. If you want to re-roll, you can, but you do need 2 successes from one.
It's an NPC.
Yeah.
I have a standing rule of why bother re-rolling an NPC.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much at the moment we have maximum momentum because people have been rolling really well. And from leftovers from last week.
Tractor beam is a science officer skill, come on.
It is done from the weapon system. But I'm going to do a roll. Okay, there is a burst of speed. There's a from the escape pod as one of the thrusters sort of goes into overpowered mode, streaking away from the implosion as it comes in and then starts to explode again. and the escape pod just barely manages to evade the destruction.
All right, new plan. Setsa, get a transporter lock on anything that's in there and beam it over.
Rick sort of pipes up. Transporter pad is engineering, which I can do from here.
Okay, Rick, if you would please.
I'll go greet our guest.
Okay, yes. Just as Churog makes it to transporter room 1. What is Churog carrying, by the way?
I mean, an armory.
Yeah.
His new toy.
Okay, is he having it out, like ready to fire?
Oh yeah, it's aimed at the transporter pad.
Okay, so you see the blue curtain fade in, and there's Mirror Ryk. It's just him in simple clothes, different to the one that you saw. And then he just looks at Rick. Chorog, sorry. Mirror Ryk looks at Chorog as he raises his arm. I don't suppose you would believe me that this was my plan all along.
Not really. And by the way, try anything, I'm going to turn you into red mist right here, right now.
He sort of nods, and I can see you are well armed and ready. All right, lead the way.
At this point, John also arrives. John has a Nerf gun.
All right, John, you take point. I'll follow behind our old buddy here.
Okay, we're gonna go to the brig, and then you're gonna talk to the captain. And John starts marching. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Chorog just kind of motions with the barrel of his gun. Let's go.
You see Mirror Ryk sort of raise an eyebrow as he just silently follows.
Who among us has not raised an eyebrow at John?
No, the sass. Let's go.
And Kara from the bridge just says, "I think Rick got our prisoner, sir. Would you like to go interrogate him?"
All right, you take the chair. I'll head down.
Oh man. Kara gets up and goes over and sits in the captain's chair.
All right, then I think this is a good spot to have a break. So let's take a break for a few minutes, and then we'll come back.
Sounds good. I gotta go take my medicine.
Alrighty, then let's get back to it then.
So as Eli heads out, Kara looks over at Grawl and says, "You know, people, go help the captain, please. I can't really order you, but..."
Aye, aye, sir.
And as she's sirred, Kara just kind of rubs her forehead and just says, "Yep, please go."
At this point, Daniel just walks onto the bridge, now in his spacesuit, which is now covered in some kind of weird looking armor. It's like fabric type of armor, kind of like old silk armor, but just zero embellishments, just simple off-white fabric plating, essentially using space fibers. It's just, so when are we going to go get Rick? Or Mirror Ryk?
As you realize, Kara, the broadcast is still technically going on.
Meh. I don't consider the broadcast like an issue, to be honest with you.
Wait, where is it broadcasting from?
That satellite back in the debris field.
But the signal was sent to the... Oh, wait, there's wait a minute, I'm kind of talking out of character at this point. There was a satellite? I thought it was just the stations we were on and the Romulan ship.
No, there was a station in the asteroid field that's broadcasting the whole thing to the stations.
So there's a satellite that's broadcasting the message. The Romulan ship is not the thing broadcasting because it was cloaked, and it's really stupid to broadcast from a cloaked vessel.
Okay. I got confused. I guess I got confused at some point and didn't realize there was a middleman satellite somewhere.
It's just broadcasting a pre-recorded message.
Well, anyway, Daniel showed up to the bridge, freshly armored up. He didn't expect. He doesn't know that it was just honestly fairly simple to just get Mirror Ryk.
No, we already have Mirror Ryk. He was in the escape pod. Trog's leading them down to the brig. Growl and the captain are going to go down and interrogate him, and I'm just sitting up here waiting.
Really?
Yes.
That easy? No traps or diversions or anything, or
Oh, it's either he'd go to the brig or I turn him into red paste. He had a choice.
She just looks at DB and just says, "Yep, that's it. Do you want to man a station?"
Sure. And Daniel starts climbing out of his spacesuit. Now considerably more clunky sounding with the armor on it.
Okay, good. Make yourself useful. There's a secondary side station over there, and she points.
Aye, Kara?
Ma'am.
Yes. And he just kind of salutes, second guesses a salute, and then just decides to double down on the salute, and then walks over to the station.
All right, so with that sorted out, or in the case of the continuing broadcast, not sorted out, we go back to the brig. Mirror Ryk steps into the cell as Churog activates the field.
Make yourself comfortable. Someone will be with you in just a minute. I'm just going to stand here and keep an eye on you.
So it takes another few minutes before Dr. Captain, Lieutenant Commander Eli O'Connor and Goral enter.
Hello.
By this time, Mirror Ryk is just sort of sitting on whatever bench there is in the cell before he stands up when the others arrive.
You want a tea, coffee, soda?
I would like some tea.
All right, I don't want to say what's your poison because I don't want you to think I'm poisoning you, but what kind of tea do you want?
He gives it's not a human tea, it's a saw tea, but you do have it on record in the replicator.
All right. Get him a cup of tea, and I'll also take a tea. Green. Can you get that for me, John? Oh no, John's silent.
Sorry, I had actually left. I wasn't expecting to be necessary.
I'm sorry, I did not know. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. It's just All right, I'm back.
All right, so John was asked to get some tea, which I presume means take it to Mirror Ryk and go back.
Yeah, and also John's an NPC, so you guys could have just had him do that. So
yeah,
John
I was
does
waiting
that.
for someone else to do it. If you weren't going to. But no one was stepping up.
You could have done it.
I could, but I'm also eating a bowl of rice.
I was assuming the GM was going to do it since he's an NPC.
All right, but John does accept the tea for Mirror Ryk and jumps into the brig, puts it down next to him. Well, enjoy your nice tea, but not too much. And then jumps back out.
All right, and Eli takes his tea. All right, so what happened?
So Mirror Ryk starts. I don't know how far back do you want me to go. Do you want me to go back to the plan starting, or escaping from Sor, or go back to the day I was born?
The plan's starting, but, you can do the day if you were born if you really want to, but you don't have to. You don't have to.
Well, that would be probably about a week before I escaped. He sort of uses quotation mark. I know he's just going to leave it. He's not using quotation marks. But I was surreptitiously approached by some Romulans through the communications network. They offered me a new home, offered me the chance to make something of myself, and if I would do something for them. I honestly didn't enjoy being cooked up, and, well, if the Romulans were planning something, then I wanted to be in on it so I could step in if required.
Mitigate the damage.
Yes. So I decided, even though I knew that I had promised you and that I would remain in prison and continue that I felt it was best for everyone that I accept and keep an eye on these Romulans. So I accepted, escaped, and started to discuss then how we could, well, turn the people of New Sword against the Federation.
Uh-huh, I see.
So I, having picked up a lot of history from, well, the time that I was prisoned and here on the Reliant, and having some talks with my doppelganger here, I decided to try and use a method that had already been previously, well, let's just say, failed spectacularly. Except, obviously, hide it in a way they wouldn't realize that they were being played.
Mart.
So,
Honestly, okay. Open up the field. We don't need him in the cage. He's easier to talk face to face without this in the way. Come on.
and, well, obviously I knew I needed countermeasures to stop fully the Romulans if they needed to be, so I, using my knowledge of ships and vessels, I was able to, let's just say, sabotage various systems that I could trigger at a moment's notice. I used the tractor beams the failure of the tractor beams to attract your attention, and used the satellite to broadcast this trifle. And, well, once I had hoped you would figure out that the Romulans were involved, and, well, when you did, I would be able to make my escape. Good to see that my faith in you was justified.
And you know what? I have to apologize to you because I honestly thought this was going to be bad faith on your part, but you've proved me wrong. I'm sorry for the assumption I made that you were falling back into your old ways.
It is very, I can definitely see why you would make that assumption. I am indeed sorry for encouraging that with what I did on the Magellan, but it wouldn't have worked if I hadn't. They needed to know that you believed I was still a threat.
Alright, I understand. Do you just want to go back to the planet, continue to serve out your sentence? I'm going to highly recommend that nothing else be put on. In fact, I'm going to recommend that you get a slightly reduced sentence. You still did break some rules. I will chastise you slightly because I have to for that. But I think you did a good job here.
Well, I am ready to go back, but I don't know if I belong anywhere. I don't know what I'll be doing after this is up.
Whatever you want to, and that's probably a scary choice.
It is a very scary choice. Where do I even start that kind of thing?
I mean, I'm not sure if you can get into Starfleet right away, but you could work as a civilian on Magellan. You could stay close to us.
He sort of ponders for a moment. Perhaps I could do that. But I do want to finish out just to prove myself that at least I'll do that.
Of course. Eli puts his tea in his other hand and holds out his hand to shake.
Mirror Ryk extends his. So I don't know about if I want to speak to my counterpart again. It's quite unnerving.
Yeah, that's understandable. I'd imagine you get used to it. Instead of seeing him like a counterpart, just see him as a weird sibling instead, if it helps.
Well, my last sibling tried to stab me in the in the chest, so I'd rather not.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I'm sure we can figure out something between you two to try to ease tension, but only if both of you want that. In the meantime, anything else you want before we head back down and send you to serve out your sentence? You ever try ice cream? You want to try ice cream?
I think I shall. At least I'll take that as something to remember our moments together anyway.
Alright, let's get you some chocolate ice cream.
And that's where we're gonna leave that little moment. Just so everyone knows, the broadcast is still going on, and it's a 30-minute, almost 40-minute discussion that sort of ends up with, but none of you actually believe that anything that I said was true right then. Just had to keep everyone talking, so and that's when it cuts off.
Tara just finally blinks and says,
See, letting it run its course is probably the best course of action there. Also, hi, Nord.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
You are just jumping in at the very final moments of today's session where we find out what happened with Mirror Ryk and what he is really up to, which is sort of being a Garrick right now.
I kind of caught that. I totally spaced what day it was. And I happened to glance over at Discord and I saw Nick's message and I was like, shit, I need to plug everything in and jump in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the grumpy old Nord.
Yay! So do we have any final scenes or moments that people want to do, including Rumpy?
Nah, I'm good.
I have a couple questions. Since it's been a while, what's Waitley and Grimner been up to?
To be honest, not much, as we try not to play people's characters when they're not here.
Understandable, but I gave you all permission to use my characters in my absence.
True, but we still hadn't,
Okay, fair enough.
Weird about it.
Yeah. Presumed bartending and various hobbies.
Counseling sessions have been proceeding as normal.
I'm still not sure if Daniel's gotten a proper psych evaluation since arriving in the future.
Do we have
It's
time to
not.
do that?
Chorog should probably visit the counselor. Considering
Bonus
he, al-
time
con-
then. Hell yeah.
considering he almost died.
Yeah, we've got time to do some extra scenes. So if we want to do something like that, we can.
I'm gonna just say Daniel gets a ping. He just gets a message telling him to report for psych evaluation sometime in the near future, and just save it for another session or something.
By the way, if Goral is there, and if he or Eli do want to do an insight check, they can do a insight command check.
I mean, Eli's also got empathy, so he's an empath, so I just imagined he would just feel that he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get the result that he was, but if you do want to roll, you can.
Nah, I'm going to trust my gut.
Surely nothing will come of this.
Chorog made the big leap to Starfleet.
There was
And I'm
one
assuming-
success from Goral, so you do believe it. It's like you're not completely 100% certain, but yeah, it's likely the truth.
I mean, that's what I figured.
I trusted him without the roll. I have faith of the heart.
Been a long road after all.
Getting from there to here.
Exactly.
All right, so is that where we're going to leave it for tonight?
Didn't
Do the
Chorog
council.
and Watley want to do a
Yeah,
thing?
I was gonna say JB said he wanted to do something.
Yeah, because I don't know if you've been following along, but
Sadly, I have not.
yeah, Chorog almost died, and he's now in Starfleet.
Okay.
Fully.
Okay, so
And-
he's no
and
longer an
that's-
ambassador; he's an actual officer.
Yes,
Okay.
because Chorog went to face his clan, they double crossed him, almost killed him, and he damn near died.
Okay. So that begs the question: do you want this scene with Whately or with Grimnir? Because they both kind of serve a counselor role. Well, Whately literally is the counselor, but Grimnir also kind of serves that role. He's kind of the Guinan of the ship. And I know Chorog and Grimnir have a good rapport and history, whereas Chorog and Whately, I don't think they've ever like butted heads or anything, but they've never really like gotten along, if that makes sense.
There's also that thing I've always wanted to try to explore into where a part of Whately has buried himself deep into Chorog's subconscious. Chorog doesn't know he's in there, but he's in there.
Yeah, I tend to forget that at this point Whately has kind of injected himself into pretty much everybody on the ship. And
that probably do with
is
Grimnir.
that Whately is the head counselor on the ship. It would make sense that since Chorog is now officially in the Starfleet, he would get ordered to report to Whately. So how do you want to play this? How do you want to do this?
Let's do it with Whately this time, and then Chorog will have something with Grimnir in the future.
Okay.
All right, so it is the scheduled time of the therapy session, counselling session. This is at Grimnir's office. Whately's office. So let's start.
Chorog pushes the button on Whately's door, waiting for him to let him in.
A brief moment passes, and Chime responds and says, "You may enter if you wish."
Chorog walks in and says, Ensign Chorog reporting as ordered.
As Chorog enters Whately's office/quarters, it's very dimly lit, very dark. I've described it on the show before, but I'll describe it again. When you walk through the door, the first opening little vestibule area is very dark, very dimly lit. It's very open, very spacious. There's not a lot of clutter. There's a small desk in one corner, which faces the bulkhead where there's I keep wanting to say window, and that's not the right word, but I can't remember the word for window on a starship. But you know what I mean.
Porthole.
But it's not a porthole
Viewport?
either. Because viewport. Thank you. Viewport's the word I was looking for. There's a very large viewport, looking out into the vastness of space. There's your typical, 19th century, early 20th century leather armchair with a footrest, and then there's a couple of beanbag cushions of varying size and positioning. And Whately is sitting at the desk, and he's reviewing a notepad, and he looks up and says, "Ah, Chorog, please make yourself comfortable. It's been a long time. It's finally agreeable that we get to have this opportunity."
I agree. And Trog's looking at the beanbags, kind of confused as how to sit on them.
Whately watches Chorog struggle trying to figure out where to sit, and he says, "You may sit wherever you wish. There's the chair, there's the beanbags if you want to sit on the floor. If you like, we could have the computer replicate. What's a typical Nausicaan chair for you?"
Big metal
Oh.
chair.
Oh, yes. Nick, yes. What are those called? A chaise lounge?
Yeah, it's a Freudian chaise lounge.
Yeah, he's also got one of those.
Trog. Oh, after Trog struggles with the beanbag, mutters something under his breath and goes lays on the armoire or whatever that is.
Chaise lounge. We'll just call it a lounge chair.
It's a psychoanalyst couch.
Yeah. Whately just kind of smirks to himself and nods as Chorog sits on that. Does Chorog lay down on it, or does he squat on it?
He's kind of sitting on it because he's not entirely sure if he'd be sitting, laying, standing. He really don't know what to do with it. So he just sits down.
Okay. Whately watches that, and he taps a couple buttons on his terminal, and he brings up a video showing the typical psychoanalyst scene of the doctor sitting in his chair at his desk and the patient reclining on the lounge chair, and he says, "If you need guidance on how this works, this is what is typically done."
Trog reclines on the chaise lounge, and I've been really struggling with this near-death thing.
Why don't you tell me more about that? And give me an insight check.
Insight what?
What would that be?
Probably command.
Yeah,
Insight command. All right.
and I would say pretty low difficulty because Trog at this point has a lot of experience with Whately and would probably pick up on this pretty quickly.
Oh, come on, Majel. Seriously?
Is the bot not working? All right, screw the bot. We'll do this naturally. Give me an odd or even.
Oh, we can do a slash roll and not use Major. We've got Dice Goblin for that.
Give me an odd or even.
There we go.
I don't know what that means.
It means he rolled a 10, which means even.
Oh, okay. Oh shit, that's a fail. All right. So as Chorog settles in to the chair, something seems off about Whately in the moment, but he's not sure what it is. Like, he feels like he missed something he feels like he should have caught, but he's not sure what it is. But Whately kind of leans back in his chair and he pulls up his pad and he says, "Why don't you tell me more about what you remember of what happened?"
I went to face my brothers. They accused me of selling out. I went to face them. People I thought brothers. People I thought family. They turned their back on me. They tried to kill me. Damn near came close. I almost bled out in the shuttle trying to get back here. Poison. It was poisoned in the back. A coward's way.
Whately nods and he notes some things down and he says, "Now, Chorog, you and I have known each other for some time, and thanks to you, I've learned quite a bit about Nausicaan culture. What you're explaining to me, is that not fairly standard?"
Not in my clan. In my clan, the accuser faced the accuser face to face, and if he was going to off someone, he'd do it. Both would be armed, and it'd be done face to face, not in the back. That's the coward's way out. At least in my clan. At least that used to be in my clan. I'm Starfleet now.
Whately flips through his pad, and I don't know if I need to make a roll for this, but Whately's going to look through Chorog's history of all the times he's murdered people and all the times he's stabbed people in the back. Do I need to make a roll for that?
I'll leave this
Like,
up
basically,
to Chorog.
I want to have Whately call Chorog out on his hypocrisy in this moment. So what do I need to do for that?
JB, do you think Whately would know all of it?
I don't think he'd know of all the people.
He might not know it all from records, but remember, Whately is extremely telepathic.
And a bit of Whately has broken off in Chog's subconscious. Chog just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
Yep, so the question is, would Whately just know it, or would it be Insight Command roll for him to...
Let's do Insight Command.
All right, let's see if I can pull off a roll. What is it? D20.
Plus, I'd say it's not like Chorog hides how much he enjoys fighting
true.
and shooting at people.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like, all right. Whately has an advantage on this from his specializations, but I can't remember how to do that mechanically.
So it's just you trying to beat a number. So just roll, and then
Okay.
I'll tell you if you're successful. I'm going to say no. You needed 2 to get this.
Okay. All right, so Whately listens, and he refers to his notes, and Chorog notices Whately squinting kind of oddly, and he's not sure what he's squinting at. And after a moment, Whately raises an eyebrow, and he says, "I see. Are you sure you're not overthinking things?"
Maybe I am. It's hard to tell. I don't know what to think anymore. I made a conscious choice to join Starfleet and give up that life.
Tell me about that. I'll be honest, Chorog. In the time we've known each other, and I feel like at that point there should be another insight for Chorog.
We try it again.
Ooh.
Okay. What complication do you want to introduce into this?
Yeah, because that's like a hella good roll and a complication. So
Well-
I'm gonna explain it so that JB can decide what he wants to do with this. Had the success been normal, Chorog would have realized Whately is doing something he never does, which is he's using contractions. Which means the situation is extremely odd and extremely abnormal in regards to Chorog's previous interactions with Whately. With the complication, again, this is up to Chorog to decide, or up to JB to decide what that means. I like the idea that means that Chorog thinks that Whately is like opening up to him and becoming friendly with him. Does that make sense? Why I think that would be a good complication?
It makes sense to me. If
Yeah. I'm good with it.
Because it has nothing to do with Chorog, but that misinterpretation of it would be hilarious.
All right, so that's what we're going with.
Let's roll it.
All right. So where was I before I got distracted? In the time we've known each other, Chorog, I've never known you to be the kind of man to acquiesce or be obsequient to an organization like Starfleet, it kind of caught me by surprise. So I'm curious what your thinking, your mentality was. What made you decide to make that decision?
Funny things happen when a man's dying. And
Wait,
as I was
Whately
sitting in,
nods silently in understanding.
I sat in that shuttle, my bleeding out all over the place. Kind of get a little introspective about your life. My past life just tried to kill me. My current life aboard Reliant, you guys have been you guys have been you've been family to me. You've never done me wrong. And I resign myself to the fact that that past life is no longer viable and that my true home is here, Starfleet.
Okay. So all this conversation is going on. Whately gets curious and he decides to reach out mentally into Trog's mind. And he wants to probe, like, try to figure out exactly what Trog is thinking and feeling and what he's picturing. And that's what my roll just was. And I got 2 successes.
Okay. Do you want to oppose that, Chorog?
Trog doesn't know what's happening.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he can oppose it because he doesn't know what's happening.
Yep. Then
Plus, since
I'm.
oh, sorry.
No, go DP.
I just want to say, plus, since he thinks that Whatley's opening up to him a little, he would probably honestly have his mental guard down compared to
Yeah.
normal.
All
That
right.
on top of the other advantages Whately has, yeah. That's like 2 successes plus like 2 or 3 different advantages Whately has.
Okay, then it goes through. That is a success. So, Churog, would you mind filling Grumpy in for me?
So Whately is digging deep into Chorog's mind while Chorog is opening his heart. Like Chorog is opening his heart and being as open as he's ever been, and Whately's like, no, I want more. But he's not
Chorog-
saying that. He's just directly doing it.
Yeah, ever since I was assigned to this crew, at first it was simply an assignment, short term, learn how to be a commander. But the more time I spend here, the more I begin to dawn on me that I was a pirate. Yeah, I killed people and I laughed about it. But there's more to life than that. And being part of this crew taught me that. And having my former brothers in arms stick a poison knife in my back and turn their backs on me cemented the fact that I belong here and that past life is dead to me. Also, the fact that my mentor, Hassel, took the long walk into the dark without telling me also spoke volumes to me. We and him went way back. He rescued me. And he took his walk, didn't even bother telling me. These things eat at a person deep down.
Whately nods, takes a couple notes in his pad. He looks up and he says, do you feel like you should have taken Hassel's place and weren't given the opportunity to?
Had I not joined this crew, yes, absolutely. I would have picked up the reins and led my clan. But the thing is, I came here and I learned things about myself I never knew.
Do you think you could do that from within Starfleet?
What do you mean?
Well, from what I understand of Nausicaan culture, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, is that you are a culture that is very adept at manipulating things to how you want them to be. Whether through force or coercion doesn't matter. Is that incorrect?
You're not wrong.
Whately gives that creepy smile he gives. So now, and if you'd like, computer, Please turn off all observation and recording at this time, please.
The computer beeps. Acknowledged.
I think the rest of this conversation should be off the record, don't you? And Whately gives that creepy smile again.
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone in the entire time you've been on this ship, Chorog. I've never liked you being here. I've seen you as a threat and a risk and a liability the entire time you've been here. However, you have proven me wrong at almost every corner possible, which only leads me to believe. And Whately leans forward and his grin widens a little more, that you're playing a longer game than even I suspected. So the reason I asked the question I just asked, do you feel like you could legitimately run your clan from within Starfleet?
Frog locks eyes with Whately, something he's never done in the past.
Whately doesn't blink or look away.
They're dead to me. I belong in Starfleet now. I am a Starfleet officer. That is not negotiable. That life, that life, I am through with that life.
Whately gives a soft little sigh, makes a note on his pad, and he says, "Excellent. I'm very glad to hear that." Actually, no, he doesn't. He doesn't say "I'm." He says, "I am very glad to hear that." He leans back in his chair. Computer, please re-engage recording. Whately makes another note on his pad. He looks back up at Chorog and he says, "So, tell me about the anxiety you've been having."
And I think that's probably a good spot to actually end. We're getting real.
I think that's a really good spot to end that too.
Yeah, it is getting late.
So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Grumpy, for returning. Woo!
Hey.
It's about time.
It's about damn time.
And
Fuck up, Samurai.
and
It is kind of funny that the guy with the most mental issues in the group plays the counselor.
And don't forget, we have an email address, reliant@starbaseugc.com. That's reliant@starbaseugc.com. For any comments, any messages, any fan
Send your
fiction
fan
at all, anything, send us an email at reliant@starbaseugc.com.
Send your credit card. Don't actually do that.
Don't do that. But please tell us how much you hate me. You can't see it, but I'm grinning ear to ear when I say that.
Yes, you can even send... Well, don't send death threats. That is the one thing you can't send.
I was going to say hate mail, not death threats. Damn.
Send us some hate mail, affectionately.
Yes, affectionate hate mail.
Send me a top 10 list of all your favorite recipes.
Actually, you know what? Do that, because I need to broaden my cooking horizons.
And
unironically, pitch us an episode idea. I don't know.
And that's where we're going to leave it. So don't forget, next week we are doing something very special. We'll be having a special guest, even specialer than Grumpy. So we'll continue that with a new story as more things even happen. So we'll wait to see then to see what this teaser means. So until then, bye-bye.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun 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 dun.